Alright, first off, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai, Bashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Shalom to the brothers and highways and byways pushing this word now, sincerity and truth. The sisters, the believers, the helps. Shalom. This is Brother Aaron from James Jamaica Camp, coming with another quick lesson. And this lesson will mainly be geared towards younger brothers as it pertains to wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Not to be puffed up, with pride, based on what you know today. You know, as the scriptures stated that more is shewed unto us, that men understand. So there are things that we will say that, hey, we are ready for this, or only if we had this, or only if we had that, or only because I know this. It's from a standpoint of being confident, in what you perceive to be a wise choice. Now, I'm not saying that brothers shouldn't have faith in their decisions. I'm not saying that you shouldn't build confidence through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, through faith. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is that just be mindful. Just be mindful that the knowledge that you have today. As Paul says that any man think he know it, he know it nothing as he ought to know. Sometimes even for older brothers, but speaking mainly to younger brothers, that 2, 3, 4, even 5 years in, like, we have to be careful, right? And I'm gonna share a very short testimony with you. Really, I'm weighing my mind as to whether or not I should, but I think I might go ahead and do so. But let's get to the scriptures first. This is all right. So this is First Corinthians 4. So like your First Corinthians 1 verse 4. First Corinthians 4 verse 1. Right. It says, "Let a man so account us as the ministers of the Messiah and stewards of the mysteries of the Most High." Right, which really we are. Once you're walking in this truth, that's what you are. You're a steward. A minister of the Messiah, the steward of the mysteries of the Most High. Right. It says, "Moreover, it is required in stewards that a man be found faithful. But with me, it is a very small thing that I should be judged of you, or of man's judgment. Yea, I judge not mine own self. For I know nothing by myself, yet am I not hereby justified, but he that judgeth me is the Lord." All right. So that's the thing. We of ourselves don't know anything. And sometimes you'd have brothers that are more experienced, will come and say something to you, or even to a certain degree, people in the world, when they may come to you and say something, and just because they're not in the truth, you may dismiss what they say, right? But the law, it says that here every man, both from the small and the great, right? And also the scriptures also go ahead and says that examine the matter before you actually judge it. All right. So he that judges the matter before he examine it thereof, it is shame and folly unto him. Right. Roughly paraphrasing. We look from things from a limited scope, and this is something that can actually get you to fall out of the truth. You may be saying that, hey, based on what I know in the truth right now, if I'm in this position, or if this the ideal situation, whatever you perceive that ideal situation to be, if you would only get that, you'll be fine. And somebody might come, or maybe a brother will come and say, hey, truth be told, it's not as easy as it sounds. But you're saying, no, I have the spirit, and believe me, right? It's crazy. Now let me continue. Salaki, if I'm not making sense thus far, but once I get into the testimony, you'll understand. Right? Right, it says, therefore judge nothing before the time until until the Lord come, with whom both will bring to light the hidden things of darkness, and will make manifest the counsels of the hearts, and then shall every man have praise of the Most High. Exactly. So that's the thing, right? We're here saying that, look, we're ready to die for the truth, right? We're here saying that, we truly serve Yahweh Shem Yahushai. We're here saying that we're ready for Jacob's trouble, right? We're saying that, hey, nothing at all can push us from this path, which, it's good mindset. These are things that, we are exhorted of the scriptures, right? However, what I'm saying is that, don't just be puffed up because you have the knowledge and take it so like you take it face value, because the time is coming where every man will be tested. That's pretty much what this scripture is saying, right? Verse 6 says, and these things, brethren, I have figured these things brethren, I have in a figure transferred to myself and to Apollos for your sakes, that he might learn in us not to think of men above that which is written, and that none of you be puffed up for one against another. Right? So that's the thing, measuring measuring yourselves, diligently, right? Would I be Salaki Akim? Would it be you measuring up, and a next man and putting a man, a man on a high pedestal, right? Or would it be, you putting yourself on that high seat? The day will reveal it, right? So it says, for who maketh thee differ one from another? And what hast thou that thou didst not receive? Now, if thou didst receive it, why dost thou glory? And if thou hast not, as if thou hast not received it. Exactly. So just as how, the Lord will give you this knowledge, it's the same way he can take it from you. Right? So not because you understand these scriptures, don't be puffed up, right? Because understanding is one aspect, right? Now let me go into the testimony. So roughly about I think it was about what, 2015, 2016. Yeah, I think it was 2016, right? Well, I actually came in the truth, actually actively start teaching in 2011. Start learning, started learning in 2011, right? And in 2015, being about 4 or 5 years in the truth, learning, growing, and I was pretty confident that confident in the spirit. I was saying, hey, I was in the truth for 5 years. I could break down a lot of things. The Lord had blessed me with a, in my eyes, speak as a man, a decent amount of understanding, where I was conducting myself, fairly well in the truth, so to speak. Right? Now, what had happened is I started to make some investments, right? Some monetary investments, carnally, and I was saying that, hey, if I should actually make these investments, if I should actually, get it the right way, then eventually, I won't have to work, and I can focus all my time and energy in the truth, because, at the end of the day, all of this is going to crash anyway, and, I won't be affected by the money, and, everything will be, fine and dandy, because, hey, based on what I know now, there's nothing that can, push me off my game. It's definitely like I know that this is really what I need to ensure that I focus on the truth 100%, right? And that's what I was saying, based on the fact that, I assessed myself as, 5 years in the truth, having a bit of knowledge, still growing. Fine. Made the investments, and right as I started to make the investments, it all went south, like real quickly. Just went south. all the research that I'd done, it seemed as if it was gonna work, but whatever. Well, the most I went ahead and he shut it down. I was like, why? Well, I actually said that everything happened for a reason, and yeah, it was a loss, but it didn't really Slovakia, it didn't really phase me, you know. I guess it was Slovakia. Okay, I got this call. Hold on. Yeah, so Slovakia, right? It didn't really phase me, that much. So yeah, made the investment at that time. For me, I wasn't working. It was hard for me to get all that money, and I scrambled, all that I could, and I made the investment. Right, everything went south. And I was saying that, hey, the Lord know why he did it. Maybe it was a case where it would have been too good to be true, or maybe if it had went through how I had projected it, would have too much cash and will basically be pulled from the path, right? But I was there like, yeah, it is what it is. All right, fine. Now, about 2 3 weeks ago, I was actually there, and I was going through my old email, and I was like, let me see if there's any trace of this investments or anything. So found some trace of details with the investments and everything. Mind you, everything just fell through. So it shows the current projection, and if it hadn't went south, how much money I would have today, right? And it's actually over 10 million US dollars, right? Way over 10 million US dollars. But I'm going to use 10 million just to get to show a point, right? So it's well over 10 million US dollars, like way over 10 million US dollars. And when I saw it, my heart just sunk, right? And when I said it sunk, it wasn't sunk of sorrow, it was sunk with fear, like a high level of fear. Like, you hear about people saying that, when they see then they see a lot of money, they get sick, or if they should have a lot of money, will actually sick. You have people saying that when they get rich or when they got famous and saw their first check or whatever. Even some of these rappers, they say that they get sick. But this level of fear that I felt, it wasn't from a this sunk that sunken feeling that I got. It wasn't of sorrow or anguish. It was like a high level of fear. And I started to thank Yahweh Shemi Shai, for making it, where it fell through. Like it was not successful. I started to praise Yahweh Shemi Shai. Like in my mind, I was like, Tawade Yahweh Shemi Shai, Tawade Yahweh Shemi Shai. I was happy, right, that it actually didn't go through, and this is why, right? As you brothers may know, we're from Jamaica, right? In when you check 10 mil, let's say 10 million US dollars in America, yeah, some brothers may get that. And really, you, based on your currency and your lifestyle and the fact of how your economy and culture works, if you're born in America and have that money, I think it may be, just speaking as a man, of course, I think it may be easier to balance 10 million US dollars in America, being born in America, and having that understanding of that currency. I think it's possible. But this is why it's different for for me, right? And this is why I thank the Most High. The Jamaican currency, right? 10,000 US dollars is about 1.3, a little more or maybe less, 1.3 to 4 or less, right? Over a mil, right? Jamaican dollars. Now, 100,000 US would be close to 11 or maybe over 11 million Jamaican dollars. Times that by 10, and we're talking about over 100 million US dollars, right? Times that by 10. That was how much money we were talking about in Jamaican currency. And that is why I praise the most, because I like, hey, what the hell would I have done with all that money as a man being insured? I can easily see how this, would have, could have, or even thrown me off the path. Because with money, the spirits that actually comes with money, maybe you want to buy this, or you want to do it, or you want to invest in, and now, you have that high level of comfort. Now, don't get me wrong. To be honest, I could do well with a portion of that money, but not even 10 million, right? Not even 1 million. Maybe, to be honest, probably about 30 to $40,000 USD, right? Which would really help based on, living, or even a bit less, maybe, but nowhere close to that 10 mil or even $1 million in USD right now, right? And I have grown a lot more in the truth than I was 5 years ago. So imagine, at that time I was saying that, hey, I have the understanding. I know that this is, only thing I need is just money, so I don't have to work, so I can focus on the truth and all that good stuff, right? Right. What happened to the church of Laodicea, right? Right. They were rich, and because of that, they were lukewarm. You know, also in Luke and also in Matthew tells you about, surfeiting and the cares of this life, right? So based on that level of riches, you know, and I look back, like as I said, the moment I saw the figure, my heart sunk with fear, and I just started to praise Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. I just started to praise the Most High, because I understood that, hey, at that time I thought, yeah, I would be ready for it, or I could have handled it. And I'm like, hey, you have more experience knowing the truth, and even now you're asking yourself, like, even if I was to get this money now, like, what the hell would I do? And it would be trying. It would be trying. And it would take a high spirit from the Most High for you not to follow, because of all the things that would actually come with that, that amount of money. That could possibly, cost the crown, right? Not to say that, I'm driven by money, but hey, once again, things happen, and their spirit with certain things, and maybe that would have been too much for me to bear, or maybe even any other brother to bear, if you get what I mean, right? So when I saw that, I just thought of this, that, tell brothers that, look, especially younger brothers, what you think that or the mindset that you think you have right now, or that you're sure that you can handle certain things, just like in the days, the days to come, where it's going to prove if you're ready for the Jacob's trouble, or you can prove that, you're down for Yahweh Shem Yahushai, right? Some things that we think, is what we need, and the Lord actually, blocks us from it, is the very same reason why you don't get it, because, you think it's for one thing, but then when it comes around, it's a completely different thing, right? So don't just be thinking that, you know it all, right? Believe me, sometimes we think we know, and we think we're ready, and we're not. All right. So yes, be confident in the knowledge that you have. Continue to grow in the knowledge, but don't think that what you know now is the end all be all. And that is why, when the Lord gives us wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, he humbles us, to remind us that we're but men, and that, we are only held up by His grace. Right. I really hope that this is really getting through. I'm really hoping that the point is actually being made. Right. Now I have about two or three more scriptures to read, then I'll be out. Right. This is 1 Corinthians 8, and I'll start at verse 1. It says, now as touching things offered unto idols, we know that we all have knowledge. Knowledge puffeth up, but charity edified. Right? And the part that I'm actually taking from this part is it says, we all have knowledge, and knowledge puffeth up. Right? So seeing as though the knowledge has been given to us, realize that we know nothing of ourselves. Right? And don't be puffed up with the knowledge that you have, thinking that you can handle this or handle that, or it would be best if you do this, or it'd be best if you do that. And that is why it's good to follow the examples of the righteous men on earth that are set before us, right? Or let me say that those who are following the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, sincerity and truth, which are the apostles and elders, we are followers of them as they are followers of Yahweh Shai. You really think about it, like, when the apostle said 3 videos a week, men got bugged up because what they thought about it carnally. When the apostle said the daily exhortations, men got upset because what they thought about it carnally. They don't see the aspect of you actually staying in the spirit. Right? And that's the thing, when things get done, it's always good to say, yo, what's happening. Even the brother Shapar, he would always say to us that, whenever you're in a situation, ask yourself, what is it that the Most High is trying to show me or show us? Right? So don't be puffed up with what you think you know. Right? Don't be upset when some things don't work out in your favor, because in your mind you think that you know better, or you know what is supposed to be done, or you know that it will work. As the scriptures say, as the Most High say, my ways are not your ways, neither are your thoughts my thoughts. And he also said that my ways are higher than you, as the skies above the earth. My ways are higher than your ways, and my thoughts are higher than your thoughts. And believe me when I said, at the time I truly thought that hey, this would be the best thing. And 5 years later, I found out that would have been one of the worst. Spiritually, that would have been one of the worst decisions I've ever made. Because I can definitely see how that could be an hindrance, of being parted from the Most High. And that is why Yahushua said what, it's easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than a rich man into the kingdom of heaven, because there are a lot of pleasures and comforts and ease that comes with riches. But this walk, this walk of truth, this walk onto the kingdom, is the complete opposite. It's one of trials. It's one of streets. It's about adversity and affliction. And going through that furnace of adversity to be made unto perfection. And that's one thing that you can't get, with the comfort that comes with riches. Right? Let me get the next precept, then 2 more precepts, then I'm out. Which should I go first? Right. So this is Romans 8 and verse 26. It says, likewise the Spirit also helpeth our infirmities, for we know not what we should pray for as we ought, but the Spirit maketh intercession for us with groanings which cannot be uttered. Right? And he that searcheth the hearts knoweth what is in the mind of the Spirit, because he maketh intercession for the saints according to the will of the Most High. And that's the thing. These afflictions help us to groan righteously. Right? And as it says here, sometimes we know not what we should pray for as we ought. Right? So yeah, sometimes we pray for some things, and it's not necessarily the best thing for us. Right? For a country, as the scripture says in Proverbs, there's a way that seemeth right unto a man, but the ways thereof, are death. Right? And then I'll read the final precept, and then I'll lead out. This is James chapter 4, and I'll start at verse 3. It says, ye ask and receive not, because ye ask amiss, that ye may consume it upon your lust. All right. and sometimes we do ask amiss, because really and truly deep down, we may say that we're doing something for a righteous cause, or this is why we want some things to play out or work or happen. But really deep down in our hearts, that's just the flesh telling you that's what you're doing. They have they say that you live in denial, or it's just like one person's telling you, it's like you going to a brother who will tell you what you want to hear, instead of going to a brother that will tell you what you don't want to hear, right? To make yourself feel better. So sometimes it's a spirit that's giving you an excuse that, yeah, this is the reason why you truly want this, when really and truly the reason why you want it is to fulfill some lust, that may end up even destroying you. you know so once again, brothers, just day by day we learn, and don't just be puffed up with pride based on what you think, or the level that you're at in the truth in this date and time. It takes growth, and humility. We know nothing as we ought to know, right? And everything that we know has been given of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai Bashem Rakak Kodash. And in the end, the day shall prove it, what's truly in our hearts. All right? So at the end of the day, it's all about humility. Right? So with that, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh Hashem Yahushai Bashem Rakak Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, who indeed rule well. Shalom to the brothers in the highways and byways, pushing this word in all sincerity and truth. The sisters, the believers, the helps. Shalom.